Greetings. Today is Saturday, October the 29th, 2022. My name is Brother Leroy Shabazz. I am doing a very significant video for the people in my community in Cincinnati, Ohio, the community of Evanston. I am circulating a letter to renew my activity in emergency management as a CERT Community Emergency Response Team instructor. I am asking people in the Evanston community to take part of this training. This is a 21-hour training course that I do. I just went to Columbus, Ohio at the 1st of October and renewed or reaffirmed my commitment with the Ohio Emergency Management Agency to make sure that my community is prepared. And I've been doing this for quite a while. There were some problems, racial issues that I dealt with initially when I started this process, and those issues still persist to this very day. So I am asking for your help, your cooperation. I'm doing this for the Evanston community, people where I live at in Evanston, Cincinnati, Ohio. However, people can benefit from some of the things that I might be showing in this particular video. I wrote a letter to my community and I said that I was going to do this video to give you some insights into more information instead of what's just written in this letter. So there's a one-page letter attached to a FEMA pamphlet that deals with planning for your family that I'm circulating in my community. And in this letter, I point out that if you went to femap.news, you will see and I'm going to show you this website, because on this website, our website, you'll see Cincinnati Works. If you click on that website right there, this will show you that I've been in the community and we've been active in the community for quite some time. Because if you click on Cincinnati Works, it's going to show you some of the original 2010 petitions that I circulated to have my neighbors support me to deal with disaster preparedness in our community. So you'll see these petitions right here. You can read them. You can see some of the petitions of people that actually live in the community. And you can actually see the response from the Red Cross that I got in 2010 in reference to helping us to learn and deal with disaster preparedness in our community. At that time, the Red Cross had not even moved to Evanston. They were in the process of moving there, but they did point out that if I could find 25 people back then to get involved with Red Cross disaster training, that they would be more supportive. So at this point in time, here it is, near 10 years down the road, I am asking to try to find 25, 30 people in my community to take part of this CERT training, because where I was at here is nowhere compared to what I understand now. So again, you can see that I've been involved for a while. Again, also in the letter, as you read through the letter in Evanston, you will see, where am I going here? I am going to another web page that I pointed out. Come on, where we at here? Okay, so I pointed out the CECERT.org, which is our CERT website. Now, CERT is the program that we came up with, got involved with, or utilized to make sure that our community was prepared. We've had obstacles from day one when we started this process, but we're continuing to move forward. And it's very important that we continue to move forward. If you were to click on this video right here, or this link right here, this would take you actually to a video of what CERT is. Matter of fact, if you would click on it, it would take you here. And as you clicked on it and watch the video, not going to play that whole video. But that video will be 3.5 minutes of what the CERT training is about. It's 21 hours of training, life search and rescue, disaster psychology. It's a very strong basic training for people to be involved with that I teach from the FEMA manual. And I will allow people, it allows people to become Now I'm just saying a mouthful, but this is very important. You will become a disaster asset and an extension of first responders during an emergency. That is very important, because what the black community tends to do is wait for other people to come help them, and that is, brothers and sisters, that is the worst thing that we can do right now. I cannot tell you how problematic this system is going to be for us. I can tell you, as I've said in the past, that black people are going to FEMA camps. We are so far beyond what needs to be done. Unless there's something miraculous that happens, we're going to FEMA camps, because they know that the power grid is going out, and at a certain point when the power grid goes out, there are people that will line up in the middle of the night with floodlights and radios and everything that they need to put people on buses from particularly public housing and send them somewhere. I know that will happen. Most people, even political leaders, don't know the process that would take, because they don't understand the emergency management system. They don't understand how the post-Katrina Act made it to where that if those people do end up going somewhere, because of the post-Katrina Act, someone should have a clear record of where they go. In the black community, if black people are bust off somewhere right now, most of the Negroes in the community won't even care or know where those people are. They won't even know who to go ask for the information. So it is very important that we really take part in this process. All of this is getting way ahead of what the CERT training is. Again, my training is more extensive than what basic training is. But once you took basic training and you become that disaster assets where you can tell your community what to expect, and then you're an extension of first responders, you're an extension of first responders as well as the emergency management system, so that things do happen and transpire, you can actually help facilitate the transition from response to recovery. So I've said a lot right there. Let me see. Let me do one thing and then close up out of here. This right here, if you can get into you got it with the camera? Okay, this right here is called a disaster continuum. I really want to show you this because it talks about a state of preparedness, and then it talks about short-term, intermediate, and long-term processes. Okay, so this is any situation before the disaster. And when a disaster occurs, oh, you're not clicking for me. When a disaster occurs, there are certain things that take place, okay? There's a search and rescue. There are certain things that take place. Now notice, this is a short term, weeks, months, years. Okay, so we're back from a brief interruption before, as I was going into, again, talking about the disaster continuum. Certain things are supposed to happen when there's a response process after disaster, or when you got search and rescue, different things happen. I'm going to show you a picture, another video picture real quick that's very significant to this process. Again, this is the same disaster continuum, right? But again, if you looked at the fact of days, weeks, months, years, one of the things that happens, there's always emotional and psychological repair. Always during the whole process, there's a process of psychological, emotional, mental repair. I need you to understand that, because for black people, our situation in America was not days, it was not months, it was not just years. There was a 100-year period that we were not emotionally and psychologically repaired. We suffered some of the worst stuff for human beings that can be mentioned in the annals of history, right? So it's very important that you understand where we are at today. There's a whole different dynamic coming on. When black people say we are the people who've been through 400 years, but that's not no joke. Some people really even scared to say that, because in the reality of emergency management, when I teach from the FEMA book, I have to teach you that there are 3 causes of disasters. There's natural disasters, there's technological disasters, and there's man-made disasters. As a black man, I have to teach you that there's a fourth cause of disasters called divine intervention. And right now, between what's going on with what, again, when we talked about man-made disasters, we talk about war and terrorism, but white supremacy is a form of man-made disasters, right? So right now, the black community is going through aspects of man-made disasters, and then at the same time, divine intervention playing in there. There's a lot going on. Again, as a disaster preparedness practitioner, emergency management practitioner, I need to get my community prepared, right? Now, some black people may not understand what I'm saying, but white people in emergency management clearly understand where I'm coming from with this. So I don't really have to back up from where I'm at right now. So again, let me illustrate that point even clearer. So for black people, if, for example, here is slavery. Right after slavery, there was no repair of us at any point in time. You had the 1877 compromise, right? We went right into a situation where we got out of slavery and they immediately came with Jim Crow, slave codes, the Klan roll, all kinds of things. There's miseducation. There's the civil rights process we had to go through. There was all kinds of things because after each one of these disasters, there's another repair process going on, right? And so right now, even though we got elected officials, this, that, the other, from an emergency standpoint, I can really tell you how that really means nothing. Because really, brothers and sisters, everyone, emergency management, FEMA don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. The emergency management system has no care whatsoever about your political reality. There's a bureaucracy that is going on right now that is constantly going from step to step to step to exercise to step. There are things that are going on that I won't go into in this video. Again, the only thing that I can really do is create the organization, the CERT organizations in my community, help put them in other communities where we can be prepared to deal with what's about to happen in our communities and come out on the better end. So I think I made my point there. I don't need to go into anything else.
2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes. So let me back out with this point right here. Let me close out with this right here. Let me close out with this right here because I don't want there to be any confusion. There's a the system is so wide that I'm not going to tell you about the National Preparedness Goal, the National Preparedness System, the National Planning Framework, the National Preparedness Report. I'm not going to tell you about all these aspects of this system. I'm going to tell you that the goal of the United States preparedness reality is a secure and resilient nation with the capabilities required across the whole community, don't include Negroes, to prevent, protect against, mitigate, respond to, and recover from the threats and hazards that pose the greatest risk. Brothers and sisters, the greatest risk that America is facing right now is divine intervention. I'm not going to waste my time going into that right now. Hopefully at another in another video we can go into that. Again, let me go back to the letter and shut it down. Again, this is a letter that I'm circulating in my community. I'm asking people in my community to help me to create a CERT organization so that we can utilize the organization to make our community prepared for not just disasters, but we can reduce crime and violence. There's a whole litany of things that can come out of what an intelligent mind can do with a CERT organization that helps people to become disaster assets and extensions of first responders and all around active people in our community. Thank you for your time. 513-225-0522, Brother Leroy Shabazz. If I can answer any questions, leave messages, whatever. Peace to you and yours.